Steve Cope, welcome. Before we start, let's tell everybody what your company name is and your symbol, what markets you're on.
Okay, well, our company name is Silver VIPR Minerals. We trade on the TSX Venture under the symbol VIPR and also on the OTC Pink Sheets under VIPRF.
And you primarily have a property in Mexico.
Yeah.
We spoke last year. What's changed since we spoke here a year ago?
What's really changed is over the last year, we've been focused on creating new targets on the project. We did a very large mapping and sampling program in the area where we made our discovery that we talked about last year. We've identified 4 new major anomalies that have never been tested, they've never been sampled. They sit in the general vicinity of where we made our discovery. And I say that, but I mean within kilometers of where we made our discovery.
Was that a surprise?
Yes and no. I mean, I think the biggest surprise of the anomalies was the what looks like a parallel major trend that sits about 2 kilometers to the east. Mm-hmm. And that caught us off guard. We didn't necessarily expect to see that light up in the soils in the sampling program.
Those are nice surprises to have.
Absolutely. Yeah. More targets, it means, potential for more ounces, and that's what gets the big guys interested.
Right. So where are we at right at the moment as far as development of this property?
So we're currently drilling our phase 2 on the project. It's 100% focused around that discovery that we made at El Rubi, and we're going to be adding a second rig to start testing some of these anomalies we've identified.
The drills are in the ground at the moment?
Yes, we actually just put out our first batch of 3 holes on Monday of this week. And the drill started turning again on January 3rd, so I think we've completed another 4 holes since those assays, and that stuff's in the lab, and we're waiting anxiously on those results.
Well, how long do you anticipate it will be before you get those results?
Typically, we've got about a 3-week on average turnaround time, and we like to release in batches of kind of 3 to 5 holes. We don't really know how long the assay lab takes, but
right.
that's the general average. So I would expect our next round of results probably to come out in the first week of February, give or take.
Yeah, so naturally you're hoping for positive results.
Absolutely.
You're anticipating positive results, but what will that then do as far as your ability to then be able to actualize the project and turn it into an operating mine?
Well, right now the way we're focusing this exploration program is systematically stepping out at 50-meter spacings and stepping back and adding to the depth component. Mm-hmm. We feel that is the appropriate level of spacing for us to bring in those ounces into a resource and start growing this project to where one of the bigger mining companies will take a look at it and say, no, we want this in our portfolio, this is going to be our next mine. And that's kind of how we operate, is we take it as far along as pre-feasibility and then we'll vend it off to one of the big mining companies.
And as far as your fundraising efforts are concerned, do you have the funds now that you need to get to that point?
Absolutely. We in September we did our first financing post IPO. We went to the market looking for $3 million US or Canadian, and we actually hard capped it at $4 million. We had a ton of interest. We turned back a lot more money. It was a good problem to have, but we didn't want to dilute down where we were trading at. So it was very exciting. It was different. I think it was a good sign that we are entering into a bull market in our sector. But yeah, we had 80% of it was brand new institutions participating, and it was absolutely fantastic. So yes, we have the funds to do so. We could possibly do another financing this year, but that would be based on success and expediting the drill program, adding rigs. And
So let's talk just a little bit more about the property. Where is it situated? And when it comes time to actually make it operational, what are the infrastructure elements that are in place?
So we sit about 220 kilometers east of Hermosillo in Sonora, Mexico. We can go all the way to about half an hour away from the project along paved highway. The last town that we hit along that road is called Nacori Chico. From there, it's a well-kept dirt gravel road that takes us right to camp. And
your plan with that road, when you become operational, is to upgrade it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Whoever is operating it at that point would certainly be upgrading that road. As we have success at El Rubi, there may be an additional of adding a bit of road into that particular spot on the project to make it, I think you would end up building the mill up on the plateau where El Rubi is. Yeah. So there would be some infrastructure, but the government has recently added power lines right through the middle of the project. So
they have? Okay, that was my next question, yes.
We have water year round. So we haven't had any issues that way as far as things that can be a headache when it comes to mining. It would be upgrading the road and and then building your mill facility.
Well, let's also talk about that part of Mexico as a mining jurisdiction. What is the government relationship? What is the environmental relationship? Because it is pro-mining there.
Absolutely. I mean, Sonora is Mexico's #1 gold producing state. I think it's #2 or #3. I have to go back and look at my list. But as far as silver production in Mexico, it has a very long history. I mean, I would say most of the major miners that operate within Mexico have a mine operating in Sonora State. I mean, it is the most prolific for gold, and everyone loves gold.
So what's your #1 message today to anybody who's watching this? What do you want them to take away from this interview that we're having?
The main message that we're really trying to get across is because we did this, it was a newer IPO in 2017, our name isn't fully out there. It's quickly getting out there and people are starting to hear about us. And the main message is don't wait too long to get our stock. This is, we just put out fantastic results up to, 6,000 grams silver equivalent in our first batch of assays here that we just put out. So don't wait. This is a stock that is primed to go up a lot higher. And if you're interested in gold, silver exploration stories, I think this is one that people should really be looking at.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in and sharing that.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. We'll see you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks.
Cheers.